The intensity is rising, and the action is non-stop as we kick things off in Winnipeg. We have breaking news from the Octagon, where the highly anticipated flyweight showdown between Mitch Raposo and Allan Nascimento has been pulled from the card. With Raposo sidelined due to a sudden viral illness, fans will have to wait a little longer to see these two clash as the promotion eyes a potential reschedule for UFC Vegas 119.
Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 mAh power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Next up, we are talking about pure grit and the relentless spirit of Merab Dvalishvili. Even with a broken nose sustained in training, the machine is refusing to back down and is already pushing toward a high-stakes trilogy fight against reigning champion Petr Yan. While doctors advised him to withdraw from past bouts, Dvalishvili proves time and again that he thrives on the toughest challenges and is ready to get back into the cage. The heat is turning up between middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev and the unpredictable Sean Strickland ahead of their UFC 328 main event. Chimaev is making it clear that while he respects the sport's rules inside the cage, the gloves are off when it comes to their heated history. With tensions at an all-time high, this fight in Newark is shaping up to be one of the most volatile matchups of the entire year. Finally, MMA legend Ronda Rousey is making waves by scouting future talent and throwing some major praise in the direction of Paddy Pimblett. After a candid moment during a recent press conference, Rousey signaled that she sees incredible potential in Pimblett and has encouraged him to reach out once his current contract expires. For more updates on these stories and the biggest fights in the game, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Ever get that feeling that the fight game just loves to throw a curveball right when things are heating up? UFC Winnipeg is dealing with exactly that, as we're officially down one fight just 48 hours before the action goes down. The flyweight clash between Mitch Raposo and Allan Nascimento is off the card, and honestly, it's a tough break for everyone involved. Raposo has been battling a nasty virus over the last few days, and ultimately, the UFC doctors made the call to pull him from the event. It's the kind of invisible opponent that's harder to beat than anyone inside the cage. Now, the silver lining here is that this fight isn't necessarily dead in the water. Sources are saying there are already preliminary talks to slide this matchup over to UFC Vegas 119 on June 20th. That card is already packed with the Cape Horiguchi rematch, so it would definitely fit right in. For Raposo, it's a frustrating pause after he finally found his groove with that massive upset over Azat Maxim last October. On the other side, you've got Nascimento, who is on a serious heater with 4 straight wins and is hungry to crack those rankings. It's a genuine shame we won't see them trade leather this weekend, but health always has to come first. The show, as they say, must go on, and UFC Winnipeg is moving forward with a solid 12-fight lineup, anchored by that high-stakes welterweight main event between Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott. If you're as stoked for the main event as I am, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Who do you have taking the win in the headline spot? At the end of the day, fight cards are fragile things, but the chaos is just part of what keeps us coming back for more. What if you knew, going into the biggest fight of your life, that your body was already broken? For most athletes, that's an automatic pullout. For Merab the Machine Dvalishvili, it's just another Tuesday. We're talking about a guy who literally breaks his nose in training and decides that surgery can wait until after he settles his business in the octagon. But this isn't just about toughness. It's about a fighter who views impossible challenges as his default setting. Even when UFC doctors gave him the green light to withdraw from his previous clash with Petr Yan, Merab refused. He didn't want the out, and he didn't want the excuses. He wanted the challenge. And let's be real, that grit is exactly why he's become a fan favorite. Even after that tough loss to Yan, he didn't crumble. He just focused on the next mountain to climb. Now, he's lining up a trilogy fight, eyeing a return this summer while simultaneously jumping into a high-stakes wrestling match against Henry Cejudo. No special training camps, no changing his style, just pure, unfiltered machine energy. It makes you wonder, at what point does extreme dedication cross the line into something truly superhuman? If you're inspired by that kind of relentless drive, Hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the minds of the world's toughest fighters. After all, greatness doesn't ask for permission. It just shows up to work, broken nose and all. Think the octagon is a dangerous place? Try stepping into a room with two of the most volatile personalities in the fight game. We all know Sean Strickland is a loose cannon. The man has literally spoken about the urge to take a life, not to mention his bizarre obsession with desert escapades and picking fights with anyone who catches his eye. But even with that reputation, the UFC knows he's a cash cow, which is exactly why he's headlining UFC 328 against the undefeated terror, Khamzat Chimaev. This matchup is brewing into a powder keg. We have all heard the conflicting gym stories about who dominated whom in training, but now it is finally going public. Interestingly, Chimaev is showing some restraint, at least when it comes to the rulebook. He made it clear that killing a man in the cage is not on the agenda, partly because it is haram and partly because the UFC would actually stop him. But here is where it gets chilling. Chimaev made a distinction between the sport and the street. He flatly stated, if he dies, when talking about a hypothetical brawl outside the arena. It is a stark reminder that these guys aren't just athletes, they are predators waiting for the right moment. Chimaev says he moves according to the situation and his entourage, which sounds less like a pre-fight strategy and more like a warning. Are we looking at a classic main event or a street fight waiting to happen in Newark? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you want to see if these two can actually keep it professional come fight night, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because one thing is for certain, you won't want to look away when the cage door locks. What happens when a combat sports icon accidentally roasts a fan favorite, only to immediately pivot to a business proposal? That is exactly what just went down between Ronda Rousey and Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. It all started during a press conference for the upcoming MVP MMA event, where Ronda was firing back at UFC bantamweight champion Kayla Harrison. Ronda was making a point about her own historic paydays, essentially arguing that Harrison isn't quite the draw the UFC thinks she is. In the heat of the moment, she let a jab fly, questioning why Harrison's fight was booked as a co-main event, claiming, "The B isn't even bigger than Paddy the Baddy." But Ronda, always sharp on the mic, realized the optics of that comparison instantly. She immediately walked it back, clarifying that she actually has massive respect for Pimblett. In fact, she dropped a headline-grabbing bombshell. She thinks Paddy has more potential than anyone else on the current UFC roster and told him to give her a call once his contract expires. Now, this is fascinating because Ronda is gearing up for her own massive return to the cage against Gina Carano on Netflix this May. It sounds like she might be positioning herself to play a larger role in the fight business long-term. Whether or not Paddy actually takes that call remains to be seen, but it's a power move that keeps everyone guessing. If you think Paddy should stick with the UFC or test the waters with a venture like this, drop a comment below and let me know. At the end of the day, in the fight game, your value is only as high as your next big move, and Ronda is clearly looking to make hers count.